Dealing with multi-stop trips. Today we're going to be talking about rideshare passengers that want us drivers to stop and wait on them at multiple stops. Now we know Uber allows up to 5 stops per trip. For yours truly, a non-root beer drinker, that's like offering me a cup of A&W.
What's in a cup? Root beer. You want some? There's some things I don't do.
There's some things I just don't do, to quote Christopher Walken. And how many of you folks, movie trivia, know what movie that is from? My over 40 grown folks entertainment right there. Y'all ain't ready for that. Some things I do not do. And when it comes to rideshare passengers, whether it's with Uber or Lyft requesting multiple stops, Uber talking about as many as 5 stops in a single trip, that is a thing I just do not do. Now, I'm going to come pretty damn harsh on this, and I understand some of my viewers are going to push back and probably critique the hell out of my advice. I invite you to do so in the comments, always with the solemn promise that I don't ban or block anyone for being critical of yours truly. At the end of the day, the whole purpose of this is to speak to newer and veteran drivers alike, folks who may be, prospective drivers thinking about doing this. We can help them actually learn by knowledge from experienced drivers as opposed to doing this shit the hard way like we did. So I don't take passengers on multiple stops for the simple reason that it is not profitable. In my market, we get 9 cents per minute wait time, and there is no profit in me sitting in my vehicle, idle in the vehicle, maybe running the heat, running the air conditioning in summertime at 9 cents a minute. Now, I understand some markets pay as high as 25 cents a minute. In my opinion, that's not very profitable either, but it's certainly better than 9 cents. I mean, 9 cents a minute comes out to like $5.40 per hour. That's well below minimum wage in every single state in America. In addition to not stopping multiple times for passengers, I understand passengers will leave anchors in vehicles. An anchor is leaving something in your vehicle in hopes that it will convince you to stay, as opposed to driving off with that person's property in your vehicle. So if a person is going to go into a store and they know they may be in there 15, 20 minutes, they assume, well, if I leave my purse or if I leave a grocery bag or a backpack in the car, that'll keep the driver from leaving. With yours truly, that shit will not work. I have left folks with anchors, period. But passengers will do that, so do be aware of that. Now, you have a few choices, because I understand a lot of folks do not want to be confrontational with passengers. I made the story or did the video just yesterday of Miles McGlashan out of Florida that was killed by his Uber driver because Miles wanted to make changes to the original trip, and apparently the driver was not with it, and they got into some type of a conflict. So I understand the danger in telling passengers no or refusing to stop multiple places. However, at the end of the day, the only purpose we're out here is to make a profit, not to be sympathetic, not to do charity work, any of that stuff. Unfortunately, Uber and Lyft are using us as a charity vehicle. The entire nature of our business was created to be a cheap, affordable alternative to the taxi and cab industry. So we essentially groomed cheapness from the start. I stated in videos before that even Uber was telling passengers, you don't even have to tip the riders or the drivers. The tip is in the fare. And it took them 3 years to even allow passengers to tip us. So the entire nature of our business is something we're always combating. And that is the fact that the passengers are choosing us because we're cheap, and they've been groomed to be that way. So understand that mindset when you think stopping and waiting with somebody for 3 or 4 times on your trips are going to guarantee that they're going to tip you or something like that. No, it's not. It is simply not going to guarantee you shit. 20 to 30% of passengers tip in most markets. Going above and beyond for a passenger does not guarantee you shit. All of my veteran drivers in the comments, I invite you to give examples of how you did something for a passenger that you felt definitely deserved a few extra bucks in the tip, and they didn't give you any damn thing. Some of them barely say thank you. We deal with a lot of entitled passengers. So just think about that while you're sitting outside in your car while a passenger is in Walmart shopping and you're in your car with the heat or air conditioner on. They may come back outside, expect you to help them load their groceries in the car, take the groceries in the house, and give you nothing. That happens every day in this business. So don't ever think that, well, give good customer service and ye shall be rewarded. That doesn't apply in ride sharing. It just does not apply in ride sharing. I would rather operate on what I know is profitable than what I hope will be profitable down the road in an industry where only 20 to 30% of the passengers tip. Don't leave yourself open for that. So what do? You can have signs in your vehicle. I've stated before, it's always nice to have a tips are encouraged sign. If there's a particular distance you don't go, you can have a little small one-line sentence stating, no trips, outside of 30 miles or whatever. A few bullet points so that when passengers get in, it's already been highlighted so that you don't get somebody, well, you just don't do this because I'm a woman, or you don't like black people or some shit. No, it's already on the paperwork, ma'am. Generally on the back of the headrest or on the glove compartment. Small piece of paper with a few rules in it, such as that one. We only allow 1 stop per trip. We don't do 5 stops per trip. And when you receive these through the app, if you see somebody want to stop that many damn times, delete that shit. Decline that trip. Like I stated before, I'm going to get some pushback from drivers who will tell you that, well, if you give them great customer service, that encourages tips and stuff like that. Yeah, it encourages tips, but that don't mean your ass are going to get them. Can you imagine how upset a driver might feel if they sat there and took somebody to 5 different locations waiting for 5, even if you only wait 5 minutes per stop, it's 25 minutes of your time, and the person gets out and tips you nothing or $1 or $2. Why spin the roulette wheel and hope for that shit? Just avoid that. Unless you can get a passenger that's willing to make a deal to tip you and pay you up front. That's about the only way I would do that, because all of us drivers know when a passenger said they're going to tip you through the app, I believe there's a 90% chance, according to one study, a 90% chance that it's not going to happen. If a passenger says I'll tip you in the app, it's about a 90% chance it's not going to happen. So the only way I think it would even be remotely worthwhile to take someone on multiple stops is if they pay you and pay you up front. And that's just not going to happen most times. So I strongly encourage you see multiple stops. For me, 1 max. And I tell the passenger, like I said, I got a tipping is encouraged sign, and 1 bullet point states on there, 5-minute wait time max. Not 6, not 7, 5 minutes, or I'm out. And that's the way I look at it. Nevertheless, I'll give you something that's even more stronger. And I know there are going to be some folks that are not going to like this. Like I stated before, this is how I run my business. We are all independent contractors. You do what is profitable for you. First of all, I don't operate on ratings and stars. I operate on profit. How many of your bills can you pay with ratings and stars? I can't pay any. So while I'm saying this, I do understand some passengers may give you a low rating, but that doesn't pay the bills. You can have a 5.0 rating right on into bankruptcy. That's up to you. Now, my motto is, I will leave anytime it's not profitable, or when leaving you is more profitable than driving you. And that includes cancellations. I've had people, you get a trip and you can see it's only going to pay $2, $3 or something like that. and the person has took the 5 minutes it takes to, whatever the allotted time they give you, and tell you you can now cancel this trip and get paid for cancellation. If it's a short trip and I know that the app is showing me I can get paid to cancel and I can see you coming out of the house, I'll still leave your ass. Sorry, I will still leave your ass. Why would I take you on a trip and earn the same amount of money that I can earn just by leaving out of here? I can leave you right now and earn what I'm going to earn with you in the car. Why would I do that when I can cancel this trip and now be on another one, making money at the same time? Now, for you folks who would view that as being disgusting, you're doing you're doing something based on sympathy. You know the driver's coming. Your app is telling you that. Your phone is telling you that. Why not just be courteous and be at the damn curb or be on the porch when the driver get there? That's more of that entitled passenger shit. So when you get a driver like myself, I'm gone. And I have done that. I have had people literally walk into the car. I'm out. I get more money driving off than I do picking you up. Now, like I said, I understand this sounds awful. The problem is this. No one running an independent contractor business wants to give bad customer service. In most businesses, you make a hell of a lot more money satisfying the customer than you do dissatisfying the customer. Unfortunately, our business operates in the opposite often. That you literally can make more money doing something that the customer may not like than if you did what they do like. Oftentimes, if you try to provide the best customer service to your passengers, it's going to be a detriment to your earnings. They ask us to do a lot of shit that is unprofitable and many times actually puts you in the negative, such as stopping for 5 times. That is a loss of revenue doing that. So until Uber and Lyft corrects how much they pay us, some decisions you make are going to be considered as bad service to the customer. If it comes down to me giving bad service and making a profit versus giving good service and actually losing money, I'm going to generally choose something that you may not find favorable. But that's me. That is me. Like I said, I'm not suggesting anyone take this. This is my advice on how I run my business as a rideshare driver. And if you have a different opinion, state it in the comments. I understand we get a lot of elderly people. We get a lot of disabled folks. You get, individuals like that, and you really want to look out for them. You don't want to leave, say, a single mom with 2 or 3 children or something of that nature. I understand where the sympathy ploy comes in. I may be guilty of that a time or two myself. But just understand, every time you do something from an aspect of sympathy or charity, it hits your bottom line. Uber and Lyft are doing nothing for charity purposes, nothing for sympathy purposes. They're passing all that on to you. And they know that a lot of us will act from a sympathetic aspect, and it costs us money, such as the medical transport side that they're creating, where you're picking up medical transport patients and shit like that. I got a hell of a lot of pushback in the comments from that. Well, these people really need to get to the hospital and things like that, even though you're not making any money of any significance taking them there. That's the type of issues that you have to choose between. Nevertheless, in the comments section, I want to hear from my veteran drivers. Have you had a passenger asking you to stop at multiple locations? I'm talking 3 or more. For myself, yours truly, I had, yours truly, I've stopped a couple of times at one stop. I'll do one, max 5-minute wait time, and I have left people that tried to do 10 minutes and all that other shit. But I had a couple girls that wanted to do 3 stops. And we were having a good conversation and shit like that. And, I was on my way home. I gave them 2 stops. And that's the only customer out of my entire driving career that I've given 2 stops. On the 3rd stop, they talked me into, they left an anchor in my vehicle, went into a weave shop, and was in there for 20 minutes. I left them, and the anchor they left in my vehicle, they never contacted me to get it back, and it ended up being tossed. But at the end of the day, I could have continued to wait. Maybe they would have came out in a half hour or something like that. I don't know, but I left, and what they left in my car, they were never able to retrieve. I don't know what rating they gave me. I'm still on the app. I'm still a member of both Uber and Lyft. I can still drive. I drove yesterday. But nevertheless, I do realize some of these tips that I'm giving you can lead to bad ratings. Now, like I said, I put signs in my vehicle so that passengers know a hell of a lot earlier that I don't do this, or this isn't suggested, or we don't accept that. So I'm just driving out of the area. I'm not going to do any trip that's more than 20 miles or something like that. It's different things like that, because you got to come back and nobody's in the vehicle. But everyone has to decide what makes most sense in their markets. And I'm just giving you advice of what I do. So let me know in the comments, have you had a passenger try to get you to do more than 3 stops? If so, did you do it? And by the way, have you had someone leave anchor items in your vehicle? I'm going to run into this place and I'm going to leave a purse, or I'm going to leave my sunglasses on the seat, or my phone, something to make it so that you don't want to take off and leave them there, even though that's what their ass clearly deserves. As always, folks, subscribe to the damn channel, and I'll see you in the next video.